Welcome to the ACE Project, brought to you by the Literacy.io team at Texas A&M University. I'm your host, Ashley Stack, also known as Captain Comprehension. We are so excited you'll be joining us on this reading journey and hope you and your child enjoy this time together. So get comfy, rev up your brains, and get ready to think, because we are ready to help you become a comprehension detective.
Hi, Super Readers. My name is Captain Comprehension, and I am here to help you as you become a comprehension detective. Welcome to episode 54 of our podcast. This month we're reading Areli Is a Dreamer by Areli Morales. In Areli Is a Dreamer, Areli moved from Mexico to New York, where life was very different. Let's read to find out how Areli overcame a difficult adjustment to her new life. Before we begin, let's go over some vocabulary that will help us better understand the story. Our first word is fierce. Fierce is when someone is extremely excited or passionate about something. A synonym or word that means the same might be intense or ferocious, and an antonym or opposite would be weak or submissive. In Spanish, fuerte. Our second word is ashamed. Ashamed is a feeling of being guilty or embarrassed. A synonym or word that means the same would be embarrassed or regretful, and an antonym or opposite might be shameless or blameless. In Spanish, avergonzado or avergonzada. Then we have the word mesmerized. Mesmerized is when you're hypnotized or very, very interested in something. A synonym or word that means the same might be spellbound, intrigued, or interested, and an antonym or opposite would be unfocused or inattentive. In Spanish, hipnotizado or hipnotizada. Lastly, we have the word immigrants. Immigrants are people that move from one country to another. A synonym or word that means the same would be settlers or refugees, and an antonym or opposite might be natives or citizens. In Spanish, inmigrantes. All right, Super Readers, it's time for you to engage with our podcast. So, scan the QR code or go to the website to get the Google form started. Our first question is the word mesmerized means A. Engaged, B. Awful, C. Hideous, or D. Disappointing. Pause your video and put in your answer now. Which of the following is not an antonym for fierce? A. Weak, B. Intense, C. Submissive, D. Frail. Pause your video, submit your answer, and then press play to get started with the story. All right, Super Readers, it's time for us to read Areli Is a Dreamer. This, by the way, is a true story. At Abuela's house, Saturdays were filled with family and sunshine. Areli was good at playing al escondite and even better at chasing chickens. She could outrun her big brother Alex and their primas. When evening came, she sat around a noisy table and ate mounds of tortillas and pollo con frijoles for supper, her favorite. But Sundays were different. On Sundays, Areli and Alex sat in the stuffy living room, waiting and waiting for the phone to ring. "It's your mama and papa," said Abuela, "from America." "Hola, mama." "Hola, papa," said Areli in a small voice. "Hola, mi niña," said Mama. "Did you get the toys we sent you?" asked Papa. Papa always asked about the toys. "Sí," said Areli. "Gracias, Mama." "Gracias, Papa." Mama and Papa had been away so long they felt like strangers. "When are you coming home?" she asked. She knew the answer. "Oh, mija, we can't come back to Mexico," said Mama. "We're trying to get you here to America, with us." "Your mama and I dream of the day we will all be together," said Papa. "We will send for you soon. I promise." When Areli hung up the phone, Alex tried to make her smile. "Mama and Papa think about us all the time," he said. "They're working hard, mija," Abuela said, "for all of us. They want us to have a better life. But why will Alex go to America first and then me? Areli asked. Abuela had told her the answer many times. Alex was born in America, so he can come and go. You were born here, so it's harder for you. How hard? Abuela didn't answer. Instead, she wrapped Areli in her arms. Your mama and papa want you all to be together, as a family. But they weren't all together as a family that year. Mama and papa didn't come back for Areli's birthday, or Dia de los Muertos, or even Navidad. Then one night, Alex took out his suitcase. Where are you going? Areli asked, but she already knew. You know where I'm going, Alex said. I'm going to Nueva York. He flashed her a big grin and gave her a drawing of the two of them in the yard with the chickens. So you won't forget me, he said. A few days later, he was gone. Now when she waited for calls from Mama and Papa, Areli had to wait alone. That fall, Areli started kindergarten at the school near her abuela's house. She was so proud to be at school. She learned to tie her shoes and write the letters of the alphabet. She played al escondite with her new friends. She barely thought of Nueva York at all. Until the day Abuela greeted her with tears in her eyes. Areli, mija, you're leaving us, she said. Your mama and papa are sending someone to take you to Nueva York, to live with them at last. Abuela's voice was shaking. I don't want to go to New York, Areli said. I want to stay here with you and my friends and my home. Please don't make me go, Abuela. If I could take care of you here, I would, my sweet. But I am old and there is no future for you in Mexico. You don't understand now, but someday you will. The next Saturday night's dinner was very sad. Areli said goodbye to her cousins. She said goodbye to her friends. She said goodbye to the mountains and the chickens. I'll never forget you, she said. On Sunday morning, Abuela woke Areli at dawn. They held each other very tightly. A man with kind eyes was waiting for Areli in the doorway. This man is a friend of your mama and papa's. He will take you to America, Abuela said. Come, Areli, he said. Areli stayed where she was. The man was a stranger to her. Be brave, Areli, Abuela said. Areli gave Abuela one more fierce hug. I love you, mija. I love you, Abuela, said Areli. Then she left for her new country. Mama cried very hard when she saw Areli. Areli ran to her, but Mama didn't look like her picture at Abuela's house. Her hair was a different color, and it was curly. Papa had lines around his eyes. They held each other for a long time. Areli did not want to let go. Areli, Alex said, you made it. I can't wait to show you our house. Alex was a lot taller, but he still had a smile that spread ear to ear. Everything in New York was bigger and faster and noisier than in the mountains. It wasn't home at all. Areli had to go to school, but the teachers did not know her name. She couldn't speak English, and when she tried, the words came out all wrong. She made friends with the other girls who could speak Spanish, but she couldn't stop kids from teasing her. Areli's an illegal. They should take her back to Mexico. Areli can't read. She's so backward. Her mom cleans my house. She's our maid. Areli was ashamed. She had never felt this way before. No te preocupes, Areli, her friend said. No pueden hacerte daño. When she went home that night, Areli asked her mother what the kids meant when they said she was illegal. Illegal means against the law, her mother began. I'm not against the law, Areli said. Of course you're not, said her mother. But you were born in Mexico, so even though you are growing up here in America, you are not a citizen of this country. Do I get to be a citizen someday? Asked Areli. I hope so, mija. I hope so. Her mother wouldn't say anything else, so Areli asked Alex why she needed to be a citizen. "If you're a citizen, you can do whatever Americans do," he said. "What if I'm not?" Areli asked. She wasn't sure she wanted to hear the answer. "Then I guess you could be taken back to Mexico," said Alex. He wouldn't look at her. "Without us." Areli didn't understand, but she knew she should stay quiet about her first home in Mexico. She did not want to be sent back to Mexico all by herself. She did not want to break the law just by being who she was. Areli had to work extra hard to learn her lessons in a new language. It wasn't easy. By second grade, she could count by fives. In third grade, she learned about the Constitution. By fourth grade, she could write a book report and read it aloud. Pretty soon it was hard for Areli to remember how the sun shone on the mountains at Abuela's house. Now she spoke English like any other girl from America. She played jump rope games and watched TV shows. She and Alex could get anywhere in the city on the subway. They rode the F train all the way to Coney Island, where she saw the ocean for the first time. Every 4th of July, she was mesmerized by the fireworks in the sky. She was a New Yorker. In 5th grade, Areli's class went on a field trip. They got on a boat and sailed into the Hudson River. Areli's heart beat fast to see Ellis Island, where so many immigrants had come before her. On the tour of Ellis Island, Areli learned a lot. More than 12 million immigrants passed through here on their way to America, said the tour guide. Almost every one of us has family that came to this country from a foreign land. On the boat ride back home, Areli thought about the tour guide's words. She pictured the millions of other people who had made the long journey to America, and how Lady Liberty welcomed them with her shining torch. She did not feel illegal. She felt like she was part of something big. On Saturday, she called her abuela in Mexico. "Are you working hard?" Abuela asked. "Very hard," Areli said. She told Abuela all about Ellis Island. "Those immigrants are part of America. Remember when you said I might have a brighter future here, Abuela? I think I understand now, and I think you were right." That night, Areli looked out over the lights of New York City and dreamed of what she might do someday. She might be a writer and tell her story. She might be a teacher and help children who found themselves in this new land. "I could do anything here," Areli said to the city sky. "Someday I will." So as you are reading, I hope you are thinking about the text structure of Areli Is a Dreamer. I heard words like until, weren't all together, very sad, left for her new country, wasn't home at all, teasing, part of something very big, and finally, she was a New Yorker. So use your text structure bookmarks and ask yourself, what is the text structure of the passage? A, comparison. B, cause and effect. C, problem and solution. Or D, cause, problem, and solution. Welcome back, detectives. I chose this to be a cause, problem, and solution. So let's write our main ideas using the sentence stems. The cause is, the problem is, the solution is. Pause your video and submit your answer on the Google form now. When you're ready, press play. Hey there, super readers. Here's what I wrote for my main idea. The cause is Areli moved to New York. The problems are her life was different and her classmates teased her. The solution is Areli worked hard and began to find she belonged in New York. How does your answer compare to mine? All right, comprehension detectives, it's time for us to answer a multiple choice main idea question. Remember, we're selecting the main idea that contains the cause, the problem, and the solution. What is the best main idea for the selection? A. When Areli moved to New York, she missed Mexico. Life was very different, and she missed her abuela and her cousins. B. Areli's life in New York was very different from Mexico. but by working hard, she found her place in America. C. Areli's classmates treated her differently because she was from Mexico. Her only friends were the other girls who spoke Spanish. D. Areli had a great life with her abuela and primas in Mexico. She loved the sunshine, chasing chickens, and eating tortillas with pollo con frijoles. Pause your video, submit your answer now. Welcome back, Super Readers. It's time for us to extend our main idea into a summary. Here we go. Let's think back to our main idea. The cause is Areli moved to New York. The problems are her life was different and her classmates teased her. The solution is Areli worked hard and began to find she belonged in New York. So now pause your video and think about details you could add to the cause, details you could add to the problems, and details you could add to the solution to extend this into a summary. Discuss them with your adult partner, and then when you're ready, press play. Awesome work, comprehension detectives. Here's what I wrote for my summary. The cause is Areli moved to New York from Mexico, where she had lived with her abuela. The problems are her life was different and her classmates teased her because she spoke Spanish and was not born in America. She missed the sunshine and chasing chickens with her cousins. The solution is Areli worked hard and began to find she belonged in New York. She learned English, did well in school, and learned about all of the immigrants who came to America from other countries. Let's use what we just did to answer a multiple choice summary question, like those we'll see on our state tests. Remember, we're looking for the answer choice that contains our cause, our problem, and our solution, plus a sprinkle of details. What is the best summary of the selection? A. Areli loved her life in Mexico with her abuela and cousins. When she moved to New York, she struggled since life was very different. Areli worked hard to learn English and succeed in school. She found her place in America and knew she would be able to do anything she dreamed of. B. In Mexico, Areli lived with her abuela. She and her brother played games with their cousins, chased after the chickens, and ate tortillas with frijoles con pollo. When Areli's brother left for New York, she had to wait for her parents' phone calls by herself. C. New York was nothing like Mexico for Areli. Everything was faster, bigger, and noisier than life had been in the mountains. It did not feel like home. At school, kids teased Areli because she couldn't speak English and couldn't read. She hoped one day she could become a citizen of the United States. D. Areli learned to speak English like all of the other girls from America. She played jump rope games, watched TV shows, and rode the subway train to Coney Island. She enjoyed watching the fireworks on the 4th of July. One day, her class went on a field trip to Ellis Island, where Areli learned about all of the immigrants before her. Pause your video and select the answer that contains the cause, the problem, and the solution, plus some relevant details. When you're ready, press play. All right, comprehension detectives, we have one more task to complete. It's time for us to infer. Remember, when we infer, we take clues from what we've read, we add them with what we already know, and we're able to make an inference or draw a conclusion. Based on the information in the selection, the reader can conclude that Areli can be described as, based on the events of the story, what will Areli most likely do next? Pause your video briefly and discuss these with your adult partner. See what you can come up with before I show you the multiple choice versions. Based on the information in the selection, the reader can conclude that Areli can be described as A. Lazy, B. Forgetful, C. Hardworking, D. Dreamless. Based on the events of the story, what will Areli most likely do next? A. Go back to Mexico, B. Convince her grandma to move, C. Visit her cousins, D. Pursue her dream of teaching. Thank you so much for joining us this month, Comprehension Detectives. I hope you enjoyed reading Areli Is a Dreamer. And I hope that whatever your dreams are, you work hard and chase after them just like Areli did. I cannot wait for you to join us again next month. Remember, we can all be comprehension detectives. This is Captain Comprehension, signing off.